I mentioned it. The NFL trade deadline has come and gone. And the big news to me is that, yet again, Rob, the Green Bay Packers did nada. And I would say this because, we know what I'm not panicking at all. The Green Bay Packers are making the playoffs. Green Bay Packers are relatively dangerous because they got Aaron Rodgers. And they got some help elsewhere. So I'm not tripping off their 28-22 loss on Sunday to the Vikings. But Aaron Rodgers, after that game, Rob, he kind of threw it out there. He was asked if he felt they needed another receiver at the deadline. And his quote was, "That's not a bad question, but that's one I can't answer."
Right.
He could easily been like, "No, we're good. We just got Devontae back. Lazar's out. We'll be okay." But no, he left it hanging. He's smart, and I don't blame him. Because you know what? The rumors, the reports were that they were in talks to get Will Fuller from the Houston Texans. And I tell you what, he ain't DeAndre Hopkins, but Will Fuller's not bad. He would have helped Green Bay. He would have taken some of the heat off of Devontae Adams. And I think he would have been a great get had they been able to do it. And the reports are that they didn't want to give up too much for him. And Rob, I'm going to say this because I know you want to talk about this. The Green Bay Packers continue to take Aaron Rodgers for granted. You have got a legendary quarterback. You have got one of the 5 greatest to ever throw the football, whether you rank him in the top 5 or not. In that category, to throw the football, he's in the top 5. And you seem, to me, to be content with your one Super Bowl. And, Rob, this is the Green Bay Packers. Now, the young people might be like, who are they? The Packers. They're nothing special. The Green Bay Packers are one of the flagship franchises in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers were championship hoarders under Vince Lombardi. I know it was ages ago, but they've got 2 Super Bowls in the last 53 years, and they seem content with it. One with Favre, one with Rodgers. And I say when you have a quarterback of this caliber, you need to do everything you can to win now. And they don't seem to be doing it, Rob. They seem content to be relevant, playoff bound, and have, a great quarterback that is going to get you on national TV and people are going to be talking about. And that's that. I don't like it.
The Green Bay Packers are for whatever reason, this is how they operate. And it doesn't make sense, especially the draft more so than this. I get it. Like not wanting to give up a pick for a guy who could be a free agent and could walk. So I understand that part of it. Like, it ain't like you're getting him and he's going to be here. You know what I mean? And at one time, if I remember correctly, a couple years back, and this is when you realize where the Packers are and their mindset. And remember, they're not owned by an owner. They're owned publicly. Right. It's kind of weird. They have a chairman. Do you know what I mean, Chris?
It's like not the whole town owns.
Yes, like everybody owns. Like they don't really technically own the team, but they have shares.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing in sports. So there is
not
no
like you
guy
can call in and be like, "Hey, I think we should."
But there is no guy. Okay, you could say, "Hey, the owner, make this happen for Aaron." You know what I mean? Right. Jerry Jones, make this happen, or an owner or something.
It's the GM. It's the executives.
Right.
I mean, they're the ones calling it, but I hear
they're
what
not.
you're saying.
Yeah, they're not held accountable. Is what I'm saying to you. Nobody even knows who runs the Packers, Chris. This is what I'm saying. You can't give me a name. I'll tell you, anybody in NFL and football can't give you a name. Who do you go to and complain? It's like a chairman of the holding company. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's part of it. And a couple years ago, I remember, and I say a couple, 5 or 6 or 8 years, I can remember the Packers were the only team in the NFL where everybody on their roster, Chris, 53 players, were all drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Nobody had come from another organization or another team. Like it was unheard of. Like to have with nobody. It was the Packers way. They drafted everybody who came through their system. There was no, oh yeah, he played for the Bears or he played for the Lions.
We went out and improved the team by making a trade.
Nobody.
Agency. Well, but to me, what does that tell you?
No, but I'm just saying. I'm saying this is what they've done, and they need to break away from the mold. I mean, I don't understand.
Do you agree with my premise that they're content being relevant? They're content being a playoff team.
I don't know if they're content of being relevant. I mean, they went to the NFC Championship game. You would think that they would want to win. I don't.
But that's my point.
It's hard for me to believe that.
They went to the NFC Championship game and then drafted 3 backups. Their first 3 picks, 3 backups. And then at the trade deadline, when you lose 2 games, pretty badly. I mean, Sunday was a bad loss because the Vikings aren't that good. And then, obviously, they got hammered by Tampa Bay. Like, if you're Rob, I would think if you're that close, then you're like, let's get that extra piece. And I just feel like they're content. And they may say, because you're right, they got Aaron Rodgers, so they always have a chance, a shot. But I don't think they're putting him in the best position to have the best shot at getting to the Super Bowl.
No, well, I mean, that's the crutch that they've had, and they've used that, and they've been fortunate. They've been fortunate that they have 2 legendary quarterbacks back to back. So they're going to have, when you look at it, 25 or 30 years, right, of 2 quarterbacks.
No question. 30 years of great quarterbacks.
How many organizations can say that, Chris? Like seriously, you had 2 quarterbacks for 30 years.
I can't, honestly. I can't think of an organization that can say it straight.
Right.
I can't think of another.
2.
In Pittsburgh, you had Bradshaw, and then you went through a slump. Then you got Roethlisberger. But straight?
Straight.
No,
where only 2 guys
there is another one.
Right, where 2 guys were under center
Peyton and Luck. I mean, but it didn't last 30 years. It would have, right? It would have had Luck, not.
They would have had a shot at it, right? But I'm just saying there aren't that many organizations that can do that. So I think that's part of it is the crutch part. Part of it is, wow, we didn't draft him a wide receiver, and the Packers were averaging 40 points their first 4 games.
Well, right.
Or whatever.
That was the thought early, right?
No, I know.
Even with Adams out at times.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not making an excuse for him because I think it would have been easy. But I'm telling you that's where their head is. Oh, we didn't get him a guy. That's funny. We didn't average 13 points a game. We averaged 40 points. They scored the most points in the history of the Packers organization through the first 4 games ever.
Yeah, but they've come back to earth.
No, I know, but I'm saying this is why I think that they think that Aaron is a magician, right. And he can he can make tuna salad out of tuna blank. You know what I mean? And this is the problem.
Yeah, because Brett Favre, you mentioned it. 2 legendary quarterbacks. Brett Favre.
How many years was Brett Favre there, Chris?
I mean,
Rob G.
You're going to have 2 who knows? We'll see what Rodgers does. But right now, you got 2 Super Bowls in those 27 or 30 years or whatever it is.
Well, when did they win the first? When they win the first one with 90 something, 98? When was that? 93?
Yeah,
5?
it was around 98. It was somewhere around there.
So since 98, they got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. And then, but remember, they had when you and I were coming up, the Packers weren't anything special. They weren't relevant for a lot of the, you know what I mean?
No, they were good in the 50s and 60s, right. and then
70s, 80s, they weren't. I thought 96 they won.
So it was 90, yeah. So 96 and 2010.
96 and 2010. So